Hello.
And we're live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast. I'm Austin Pesel on location, as Richie already knows, from a cabin in the mountains. But I am here nonetheless on the road. And yeah, with me tonight is Richie Goodacre. How's it going, Richie?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good. Yeah, not in a cabin in the woods, cabin in the mountains.
No, it's not technically in the woods, so I don't think I'm in any immediate danger from creatures in the cellar or anything like that. But I haven't found any strange objects laying around that out of the ordinary. I haven't blown in any conch shells or played with puzzle boxes or
Hmm.
or played with any goofy instruments or anything. So I think I'm safe right now. I think
Oh,
we'll see. If I disappear like on Unfriended or something, or you'll know what happened to me. Regardless of
yeah.
that, JPO is kind of MIA right now. We'll see if he shows up. He hasn't been online all afternoon. He might be under the weather or something. I think he said he was battling something too, kind of like I am. So if I sound a little nasally, I apologize. I've been battling a cold all week. But the show must go on. And yeah, we got some things to talk about. We got SummerSlam to recap here. It was an eventful show. Was it a great show? Debatable. We'll see. Had its ups and downs for sure. Maybe one night significantly better than the other night. But we'll kind of go through and we'll talk about it. Got a few other news items we'll talk as well. And yes, I have to announce, even though JPO is not here, I need to announce kind of the winners of the fantasy scoring system and our fantasy rosters and the final point totals. Because SummerSlam and the week of, I should say the week of SummerSlam, including SmackDown and Raw, was the conclusion of that before we flip over to AEW. So there were final point scores after this week. Unfortunately, Richie, you had a rough go the last 2 months or so, and ended up with 1755. So
No.
that was your final score out of all of it. So just a few, you had some rough kind of injury bugs and some weird booking things on your roster. So unfortunately, you had to do a lot of roster swaps and things, but it is what it is. We'll have a fresh start very, very soon. Ronda came in third with 2005. She had a little run there where she was in the lead for a little bit, so but she did very well for her first time. I came in with 2155 for a second place finish, so I had a little push there where I was trying to catch JPO, but it just wasn't quite enough. And JPO with 2295 ends up winning the whole thing. He was already winning going into SummerSlam, and he barely had to swap anybody on his roster, so he drafted very well, had some good luck on his side. And then just to close it out, had five roster swaps in the chamber, so he just swapped out everybody that didn't have a SummerSlam match for people who did. So a very smart thing to close it out. So hey, if you want to do it, you certainly can. So there you go. But yeah, congrats to JPO. I've already sent him his prize, but he hasn't seen it yet in the messenger, so hopefully he gets to that. With JPO, check your inboxes, and you should see it there. So, yeah, we'll start over next week with AEW, and we'll get next week. We'll that'll be kind of the big highlight of the show, the big main event. We will draft our rosters officially. So we'll follow the same format: 6 male wrestlers, single wrestlers. 2 tag teams, 3 women, and a wild card to start with for your roster, and we'll get that out there before we get to Wembley with AEW, because we definitely want to get those drafted before their big show. So that should be a lot of fun. All right, but let's get into the news of the day and of the week. We did have a wrestling death, Richie, unfortunately, and unfortunately to join his brother Terry, we have lost Dory Funk Jr. as well. Terry Funk's brother, the son of Dory Funk Sr., so a second generation star in there. But yeah, Dory Funk Jr. is an interesting one because he was actually a Florida guy, Richie. He lived not too far from where I lived in Florida, and I knew many Florida wrestlers who actually went to his wrestling school in around Daytona. So he had a wrestling school called the Funking Conservatory, and had a TV show called Funk U TV or something like that for a little while. You can see some episodes, but John Davis of the Dark City Fight Club, who I worked with a lot. was trained under Dory Funk, Blaine Rage. I knew a couple of guys, local Florida guys, that a lot of them trained with Dory Funk. So I was actually familiar with him. He showed up to a couple of shows here and there. Always seemed like a really nice guy, and he chopped really, really hard from what I heard. So chopping day during training camp was always a fun day for him, and he would deliver them himself. But any thoughts or familiar with Dory Funk Jr., Richie, at all?
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of like the matches of the or him with tagging with Terry. I'm more I was more familiar with obviously with like I mean Terry's doing work, but yeah, Dory I sort of he's a kind of a infamous sort of trainer. I know that that they would put them they would even put his training through like a bit of a grueling process from what I've read. With very it was a very strict regimen. But it brought out some really good wrestlers that he actually helped train Kurt Angle, one of the big alumni. But and also I think he had a hand in training Edge and quite a few other, a few others. I think there's I should probably get there's a whole like his list of people he's trained is pretty impressive. Um,
Mhm.
um, so yeah, there's the Hardy Boys, and Mickey James. So yeah, he's like the Funk's there, man. They're tough customers, and he'll he'll certainly be missed. He was 85, I believe, 85, something like that.
Yeah, 85. Yeah. Mhm.
85, yeah. Yeah, I mean, sucks, but I guess it's just yeah, yeah, just yeah. But he left a lasting legacy, and yeah, So yeah, R.I.P. Dory Funk, and yeah, your- your legend will live on, and with these other wrestlers. So
Yeah, no, and just running down just a few of his accolades. Probably best known for again tag teaming with Terry, as the Funk Brothers, and yeah, they won the NWA Tag Team Championship a number of times. They 3 times, I believe, tag team champions. He was an NWA World Heavyweight Champion one time, so he actually does have that accolade. NWA International Champion, Florida Heavyweight Champion, and then he worked a lot in All Japan Wrestling as well. Some of his best known stuff, Richie, was actually in the 80s, so late 70s and the early 80s in All Japan. He was kind of a staple there. He wrestled both solo and with Terry. And just a fun thing, he won 1980 Match of the Year from Tokyo Sports with his and Terry's tag team match against Giant Baba and Jumbo Saruta. So
yeah,
Match of the Year there. So pretty cool
he,
with all the talent over there.
he was also I think he was in one of the like '90s Rumbles. I want to say '96, and he was already 55 years old. He was, yeah,
um, he wrestled at WrestleMania 2. So him and Terry teamed against the Junkyard Dog and Tito Santana. He wrestled Pedro Morales, the British Bulldogs, a couple things like that. They went down to the World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico for a little while for a run, back to All Japan in the 90s, and even briefly wrestled for ECW in the early days of Eastern Championship Wrestling. Him and Terry wrestled some tag team stuff against the Public Enemy. So so I mean, he even had a little brief sort of ECW run, wrestled for WCW here and there in the 90s. And he participated, like I said, in the 1996 Royal Rumble, got eliminated by Savio Vega. So he was kind of all over the place for a long time.
Was Dory? I'm pretty sure Dory was the guy that we talked about maybe a couple of months ago, where he had he had a last match recently.
Yes. His last match in All Japan on November 28, 2017. He teamed with Nishimura, the Great Kabuki, and a student wrestler. They defeated Fuchi, Great Kojika, Mariyama, and Sekimito. It was like an 8-man, sort of 8-man tag team match. So he probably, tagged in and, maybe threw a couple of chops, and that was about it. Something like that. A couple of those guys have had like those matches where, they're technically in a match. Haku, I think, was the same way. We talked about Haku doing that.
Yeah.
Where like they'll be in these matches, but it's like 6-man tags, 8-man tag kind of situation, battle royal sort of thing, with the multi.
Yeah. I thought I looked it up. I thought he was in a match earlier than that. Yeah. He had a match in 2024.
Oh, did he? I didn't.
At the age of 83, he teamed up with Osamu Nishimura to defeat the team of Atsushi Onita and Raijin Yamaguchi in a double hell current explosion death match.
So and real quick, like you mentioned, the people he had trained over the years, the Hardys, Christian, Lita, Kurt Angle, Mansoor, Mickey James, Adam Copeland to a degree for a little while, Ted DiBiase Jr., and Test. So all trained a little bit with Dory. So
I think WWE had a working relationship with him at one point where like they would send some of these guys who needed a bit of more fine tuning, I guess, to Dory Funk's conservatory to kind of learn sort of the basics, and I think that's what happened with Kurt Angle at least, and a few other people. I think there was a working relationship there. So he'll go down as one of the greats for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So R.I.P. Dory Funk Jr. So yeah, unfortunately, both the Funk brothers are now gone. Rest in peace. They left a hell of a legacy. So so a few other things. We'll talk about a little bit about the match, the SummerSlam. But Brie Bella was injured during her match when she did the cannonball into the steel steps. She broke her scapula, so she's going to be out for a little while. But I did read so part of a backbone, really, but not a super serious type of injury. It's one that can heal kind of on its own, sort of like the ribs. So she doesn't need any kind of surgery. I think she's going to be out for a little bit with the scapula. So I guess it's probably good that they, aren't tag team champions anymore, I guess, right? So,
it is probably. Otherwise, I'd have to have another thing where it's like, oh, I guess Nikki and her are tag champions now, but I guess given the story that would have they want to tell, they would have to put that on the back burner. So it's probably a good thing. It's not luckily it's not likely to be really long term, but it just sucks. Really bad timing because Nikki just got back from injury and then the other one's out.
Yeah. So Brock Lesnar went on social media after SummerSlam and did another one of these videos where he announced his retirement again.
He went on the McAfee show and said he was retired. I don't know whether to believe it. Jesus Christ. I'm not sure whether to believe it. I feel like if you didn't do that first one, then I wouldn't have that doubt in my head. They definitely were playing it up on Raw like he was retired, but they did that last time. They played the exact same video package that they did last time. Just with added the added over Femi thing. So I don't know. If he's not at WrestleMania, then I might be like, oh, okay. Maybe. Yeah. But I'm not 100% convinced.
Yeah, especially when we talked about how WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia this year. So, we all know they like to shell out the money, for the stars, right? So I feel like it's a never say never thing with retirement. But, I kind of feel like if he was going to, the plan, was probably going to be, to them to do it in Minnesota. But the fact that everybody's still a little leery this time is because we just went through this right after WrestleMania just a few months ago. So if he hadn't have done that, and then he goes on and says he's retired, we'd be more inclined to kind of believe it. But we'll see how this plays out. Everybody's kind of skeptical of just like, bro, you literally already did that like not long ago. So I'll believe it when I see it. So we'll see if the Saudis shell out some money to have the Beast show up in Saudi, for WrestleMania. Then I'll believe it. I'm sure they'll make an offer. I can almost guarantee they'll like make up some kind of.
If he's not announced to the If he's announced to the Hall of Fame this year, then I'm like, okay, maybe.
Then maybe I'll believe it. Yeah, it's kind of usually a good indication. But all right. What else we got? So the Undertaker talked about his podcast, the 6 podcast.
To be honest, it was funny.
Yeah, so he was talking to was it Chris Van Vliet or was
yeah.
It
was somebody. I think it was at Fanatics Fest, but he was talking to somebody. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't Van Vliet, but he was doing an interview and he talked about how like doing this podcast was like pulling teeth. He'd rather go to the dentist and get teeth pulled because he's got some kind of contract, I guess, with like Podcast One or something that he's got to complete, I guess, for the rest of the year. And so he's only kind of doing it at a contractual obligation. But he said he kind of used to have fun. I do feel like it's kind of has something to do with his wife being on there with Michelle.
It has to be because I feel like he was, and the fact that WWE have like more control over it because I feel like when the other guy was on there, like, that there would be a loose schedule. They'll just film when, they both could. Yeah. And now it's like, no, he's on a strict schedule because of the WWE schedule. And his he can't be, his Michelle McCool kind of does, kind of rein him in a bit. And, he's not as, but, she's just not as, she's just not as like maybe comfortable in that environment. So it became less of a show. I didn't watch it regularly, but it was definitely, it's night and day the quality between when the other guy was on and then when he left. So I think he doesn't want to say it's because of my wife, but it's probably
it might have a little because it can't be a coincidence that's when he started to not have fun. Because it seems like you said, he was a little more inclined to talk like road stories from the past and like some of the shenanigans between him and the other wrestlers, and whatnot. It's a lot less of that, nowadays. When he's on the podcast. So I don't know what that is, but it also could be the schedule. Maybe he just had a more kind of loosey-goosey sort of, schedule with it, or was able to bring on people that he wanted to bring on. Maybe they're like telling him you have to interview, XYZ, right? Like you got to interview this person, instead of like your buddies, because I also feel like he was bringing on like his friends, right? To a degree, people he's been in the business with a long time, bringing on Kane, bringing on Charles Wright, Godfather, some of these guys that he's been friends with for a long time.
He even interviewed Trump. I'm like,
but he's a Trump guy, so it is what it is. But I feel like so we probably won't see the Undertaker podcast come 2027, most likely. No. But you know what? For every wrestling podcast we lose, it seems like 5 more pop up. So
5 more pop up. Yeah, probably. I don't know if you have that, but to that end, like. I think it was probably announced like shortly after we went off the last one. Bust Open Radio is like rebranding to like just be part of like a WWE radio branch. Yeah. And so as a result, because it was kind of awkward because on their in their kind of staff was Thunder Rosa, and you can't really be on like it'd be awkward if you're only strictly talking about more WWE centric stuff, and you're an AEW person. So she left. So they're gonna apparently that they're turning Nick Khan on, and he's like, I don't want you to be a shill, but we will see. That they definitely made a point at SummerSlam to show them in the front row.
It literally said like the stars of WWE radio, and it was like Bubba and Tommy Dreamer and all those guys for Busted Open. I feel like now they're going to be criticized every time they do something, just being like, you're just shilling for the WWE now, you're getting the paycheck directly from them. They
Yeah.
claim that they're still employed, by like Sirius or whatever, so they can still say what. But come on, you're literally on WWE radio, and they kind of bought it out. So yeah, you're a mouthpiece for the company now. You just are. So
Yeah.
you might have to get your unbiased opinions elsewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, it was weird. They even had as related to that, they talked about even in the description doing how they were going to air PLEs with like live play-by-play,
But
but it's
they had Booker T and Vic Joseph do the Summerslam thing.
yeah, but it wasn't Michael Cole and Wade or Corey, whoever is with them. Yeah, it was Vic Joseph and Booker T doing radio commentary
Yeah.
for the PLEs, and they played clips of that. So it was very much straight like, yeah, not a lot of like side commentary. It was very much like move, 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 type of thing,
Yeah.
like a sports broadcast. So that was interesting.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. It'd be. Yeah. I don't know how. I'm just imagining because I know Booker T can get excited and loud. I just someone going down the hall, going down the hall and sincere and going. That guy knows he's like in a microphone, right? He doesn't have to yell. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I just wonder where they're doing it from. Are they at the show or are they doing it remote from somewhere? That's the
It
only
looks like
thing
they're
I
doing
wonder.
it from somewhere.
Yeah, like are they just watching monitors and doing it remote in some studio somewhere, in Stanford or wherever? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. Maybe Booker T will talk about that someday, how that process works. But yeah, they were doing that. Real quick, just in kind of wrestler and movie news, we had 2 trailers that featured wrestlers. So we had the first trailer, which I haven't watched yet. I need to watch it for that Bad Lieutenant Tokyo film with Liv Morgan in the movie. So we'll see
Yeah.
how big a role she has in that one.
I watched it. She's not like in the trailer. Like she's like there's a point where she's she's supposed to be like the one kidnapped in the film, but you don't see that. She's like just like sort of in the film like eating like she's like I think there's one where she's eating food and she might be at one point where she's sort of maybe about to have sex with some dude. But yeah, like she is built like it's not like just a. It doesn't seem like a bit part. Like she is like she is billed as like that main guy, then Lily James, and then it says Liv Morgan. So I don't know. We'll see if she's like it might be just because she's like a a name. I don't know if she'll be for a few minutes or if she's actually got a decent role in it. But yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting, and it's like it's a bad it's interesting. It's called Bad Lieutenant. I wonder if it's like got anything to do anything at all to do with like. The other Bad Lieutenant Port New Orleans and the other Harvey Cartel movie that came out there, long time ago. But yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm more intrigued by the director. It's Takashi Miike.
Takashi Miike, audition.
Miike, who usually does like horror movies, like audition. So that I wonder if there'd be some like gnarly violence in it, kind of stuff. I can see that. But yeah, we also got a trailer for Violent Night 2, which we knew MJF was off filming, at one point for that movie. And you do get to see him in the trailer. First of all, the trailer shows too much. They show way too damn much. The trailer seems to show like almost the entire plot. and most of the big beats of the movie. So I hate when a trailer does that. They just show way too much, but at least it does look like at about the middle of the trailer you do see MJF a little bit, and then it looks like he has at least a fight scene with David Harbour. So it looks like he'll at least have some kind of big fight sequence or some kind of set piece with Santa. So that at least he should get some kind of showcase in the movie. That should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. And I think he's got a knack for those. For acting, he's one of the better, the actors, people that get across that in wrestling. So I expect to see him in quite a bit more in the future as well. So it looks fun. It looks fun. Looks like the first one was fun and doggy. So I'm expecting much the same. And yeah, I mean, it's cool that MJF is cool that MJF is in it. So yeah.
Yeah, I sense a small, quick run as for MJF as scummy henchman, kind of in the future,
Yeah, yeah,
and some action stuff or some action comedies, things like that. So I think it would fit him well. So you could do a lot of these kind of quick roles, go film for a few weeks and then come on back. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe this will be a good showcase for that, and then he'll get some more work out of it. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah, I mean, those are kind of the major things I had. Did you have any other kind of big bullet point things before we get to SummerSlam?
This is where but you know how we said there were new trios champions last week?
Oh yeah,
there's new trios champions already.
Is there already? I didn't even know that.
The hot potato in that belt, because at Dynamite at Arena Mexico, the demand lost to Bro Dito and Hangman Page.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the Mexico show was last night. I thought that was next week for some reason. I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah. So they're your new trios champions, but the trios championship has been changing hands a lot lately. Maybe just I don't know why. Just yeah, I don't know why they're hot potato in that belt a lot. Just hopefully just I don't know. Just keep the belts on people. Some people, a bit Tony, because I feel like it's just gone from Hangman Page is already a two-time trios champion. He was trios champion with Jet Speed. That feels like a lifetime ago. Jet Speed ain't even a thing. So yeah, I know that's cool. There's also new NXT tag team champions. Miles Bourne's a double champion now. Him and Tavion Heights defeated defeated hang on. This is why we need you, JP. So good. I'll look him up. Give me a sec. Tavion Heights, Miles Bourne. Oh yeah. They defeated the Vanity Project this week to win the tag titles there. So yeah, you got that. So yeah, they're champions. I feel like we're maybe with with the sheer number of belts in wrestling, you're probably going to get new champions every couple of weeks. Yeah. So yeah, got that. And it seems like every week we got some departure from TNA wrestling. It was sort of reported last week, but it's sort of confirmed now. I thought she was negotiating, but it looks like the former Jakara Jackson, Monique Sade is she's officially left. So she looks like she might be AEW bound, as far as I know, and really good wrestler, Jody Threat, has also finished her run there. I can see her popping up anywhere really. It should be a good shout for WWE. She's got I could see AEW wanting her as well. She did have a really good back in the day. She had a really good dark match with Athena. That it was just a really good, very stiff, hardcore match that you go check out. But yeah, they just had a stiff match out of nowhere. So I could see the door being open for her there. So yeah, that's definitely an option. She's quite good. Former Knockouts tag champion as well. And yeah. But as far as anything else,
I did have a few more things actually. So the Mexico thing reminded me that we got an announcement from Rey Mysterio that there's going to be like a lucha tournament. With lucha stars across, they said WWE and AAA, that the winner of that tournament will then face Roman Reigns at the Raw in Mexico. So that's interesting to a degree.
I'd imagine either El Gran Americano or maybe Penta
Yeah, I could see El Grande Americano getting that, especially if the match is going to be in Mexico City, right? He'd be pretty
Yeah,
over. Yeah.
yeah. The way they built up to that was funny, but I guess someone explained it because Roman's character is like, he doesn't really, pay attention to anybody but himself and his family. But it was funny because right at the end of Raw, right, Rey Mysterio approaches him and he goes, "Oh, hey, Roman, and if you know, but I'm the general manager of AAA," and he goes, "I know now." I'm like, how do you? What a way to put over your product.
I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention to anything outside of myself and WWE. So yeah, no, I didn't know that.
I don't watch your show. Sorry.
I'm well above your show. I don't pay attention to your pissant company. Yeah. So yeah, no, but that was kind of what it came about. So yeah, the rumor is probably, I would imagine, is El Grande Americano. So
Yeah.
no, because Omos isn't a luchador. They specifically said it would be luchadors. So no, it's not Omos.
Yeah.
And that would be a bad match too. They're not going to do that. So
Yeah, I think that they finally realized like Omos is limited, but they don't want to get rid of him because they've paid a lot for him. So they're just like, that's what his role in AAA is good at the moment. We'll probably talk about him in the SummerSlam recap because I was surprised he wasn't there for when we'll talk about the Danhausen match. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's good. It'll be a luchador. It'll be. Yeah,
Grande Americano is the most over guy there right now, so they're gonna have.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be him.
Yeah. As far as luchadors, yeah, you'll see Rey Fenix in that tournament most likely. You'll see Dragon Lee probably. You might see.
Probably see Penta.
Yeah, you can see even Mr. Iguana to a degree in an opening match.
Laredo Kid, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Wagner Jr. Yeah, all those kind of guys. So you'll see, all those usual guys, but not Omos. He's not a luchador. They specifically said luchadors. So and look for El Grande to face him at Raw.
Well, I guess the thing with Penta is like they're both on Raw. They could just do that match at any point. They could build up that match at any point. They don't need why not just have someone who's primarily wrestles in AAA to do it just for something like unique. So yeah, like obviously El Grande Americano is only primarily being used in AAA, and rightfully so at the moment. So yeah, it makes the most sense to put him over and then have this really big match and see what comes from that. But yeah, so
Brian's thing reminded me of one other thing. But yes, the Royal Rumble will be in Arizona and I believe Scottsdale. So at the Cardinal Stadium, I think there. So
it was announced by Dana White. That was weird.
Yeah, that was a little odd that Dana announced that, but and then we also announced AEW's has another pay-per-view in October in Florida, in my old stomping grounds of Florida, at Orlando, which they've run a couple of times at the Central Florida Arena down there. So that's where they're running in October, I believe, October 17th.
Is that which one's that one? Is that not Wrestle? Is that Wrestle Dream?
Wrestle Dream, yeah, Wrestle Dream.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I know there's heavily rumored with the Royal Rumble that this might be the last for the foreseeable future. Might be the last one night Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and imagine with TKO's greed, they're going to go to a 2-night and just have like the women's Royal Rumble on night 1 and the men's Royal Rumble on night 2, and then do other matches. So I could see that given how they've expanded all. They're starting to expand all their major ones. Yeah, I could see that 100%.
Yeah. I mean, to a point where it might be a good thing that they have the if they're going to main event with the Rumble to have the women's main event because the Rumble main event at least on night 1 because I think that it only main evented that one time because it was like it's a novelty thing, but so maybe to give it some sort of prestige to have it like potentially. Even though I think the problem main event probably is night 2, but to have it, give it maybe more of a profile to say, hey, this is gonna main event is maybe a good idea. So I don't mind it them doing like 2 nights of Royal Rumble necessarily. I could probably after a couple of years, I'm going to get if they decide to do it with like Money in the Bank and Survivor Series, which I can see doing. I can definitely see it with Money in the Bank. And I don't know if the Survivor Series is considered like a top 4 anymore, but it kind of is, but it is.
Yeah.
But I could see it doing it with Money in the Bank, but I can see in a couple of years where I'm like, yeah, okay, I wish at least one of these would go back to one night, but for now,
Well, at least with the Royal Rumble, that one format wise can make sense with the women's one being on like night one and the men's on night two, and then you could have more undercard matches. Because as of right now, they have what usually the 2 rumbles and then like a title match and one other match, right? So yeah. At least then you could have like 3 other matches in addition to the rumble on each night, something like that.
could we have tag team matches? No,
no, are you kidding me? What? Hey, keep dreaming, Richie. Come on.
you can't have tag team matches.
No.
That would be silly. We gotta have more ads for root beer. We'll get to that.
Well, speaking of shows with no tag team matches, let's get to it. All right, so with tag team title matches at least, because there was technically tag team matches, but yeah, no tag team title matches to be found here on the 2 nights of SummerSlam. We won't go too long tonight because again I'm on location with other people, so I don't want to go too long tonight and keep everybody up. But yeah, let's talk about SummerSlam and let's get into it. Yeah, we had a 2-night SummerSlam out of Minneapolis. So yeah, 6 matches on each night.
The first night there was the national anthem was done by Triple H and Stephanie's daughter. And so,
yeah.
That was interesting. So,
I don't think I saw that. I was like still trying to load up my stuff, but yeah, I didn't see that per se. But yeah, night 1 officially opened up with Liv Morgan retaining her title against Io Sky and her first defense since WrestleMania. So yeah, thanks, Liv. Thanks for deciding to defend your title. Appreciate that.
Also, like they're making it a story thing now, I guess, and then they're like acknowledging it, and then like going, hey, you shouldn't be, we need to defend it more. But I don't like the fact that they're kind of they're put in kayfabe, they're putting it all on Liv. I'm like, no, it's Adam Pearce's fault for not booking her in matches.
Yeah, you have a general manager that can be like, hey, Liv, you haven't defended your title in 2 months. You're defending it next week on Raw, like against, like we're going to have a number 1 contender match tonight and the next week you're going to defend your damn title. Like you can easily do that out of Pierce. That's on you. Because, yeah, I mean, technically if Liv just held on to her title, but, she could coast along and just be like, well, Adam Pearce hasn't made me, defend my title, so why should I, right? But at the same time, Liv like wins this match and she's walking up the ramp and talking into the camera going, I'm the greatest women's champion of all time. No, because you never defended. So how do we know that? you haven't beaten anybody. So no, you're not. Even the storyline. Yeah, what'd you think of this match overall? I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good opener.
I thought it was pretty good. I liked the fact, and because you need to, even though, we can talk about like her lack of defenses and stuff like that, she's clearly gotten better. And Liv's clearly gotten better. She's clearly like, reliable hand. And then, I like the fact that even though there was interference, it didn't play into the match and she sort of won cleanish. Like, it was like, the end sequence was pretty good where like she blocked the Oblivion and then, but Liv just countered with a code breaker and then hit the Oblivion anyway. And I thought that was cool, and it just sort of like, all right, so yeah, like she had some help, but it didn't really factor into it didn't immediately factor into the finish, and I like that. So yeah, it kind of put her over as like, okay, like you get help, but you don't really need it because you are good, it shows you're capable. So and I think she had a pretty good match, and yeah, I think. We could probably talk. It goes into the they brought back Becky Lynch and Stephanie McCurr on Raw, so I think they're going to be factored into the title picture as well at some point, and they're still teasing tension between Roxanne Perez and Liv as well. So there's stuff for her to do. So I don't think she'll be on the sidelines anymore doing stuff. So yeah, that was a good match.
Yeah, and then Raquel won the title on the IC title on Raw. So before SummerSlam, so there's a factor in there with her also having a title. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. And yeah, with Stephanie and Becky getting involved in the mix, we could see a mishmash of different title things between Raquel and Liv, having the title. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, we had a 6-man tag of Jacob Fatu and the Usos being defeated by Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight. Again, a fairly fun match for what it was. Pretty standard stuff all around. I think the best part of this match was Solo Sikoa, actually, which we don't say that often, but him running it back, doing the Jey Uso run back, and then playing the music was very funny. I appreciated that. Because again, we said, who knew that Solo Sikoa is key to being over and getting even Let's Go Solo chances? Just have a gimmick where he makes fun of everybody else's gimmicks. Essentially, that's all he does.
Yeah, or have him be himself because he's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's just kind of being laid back and being silly and laughing all the time. And yeah, he was running it back. He was doing Jacob's like little shuffle thing. It was funny. Yeah, he was just goofing on the Usos the whole time. So yeah, he was very funny, and he was the best part of this match, Richie.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, LA Knight finally got one over on Jey Uso, which is a cool story. I think it looks like LA Knight might take on Roman Reigns maybe at the Saturday night's main event. That's what they're sort of building towards. It'd be nice if LA Knight was in a title program where I think he could win. But I think they're just gonna have a program and Roman Reigns will win, and it'll build up to a bigger match with somebody. Yeah, I think they're biding time before they're doing Roman and Oba probably at a bigger pay per view.
I just wonder if they're gonna hold that off until Mania, or are they gonna pull the trigger at like Survivor Series or the Rumble, before that, you know what I mean? Or are they going to hold off and have Oba win the Rumble and then go on, to Mania against Roman?
Yeah. Because I feel like that's the money match at the moment. But like, So it's just like, and I think in the meantime it looks like Oba's gonna feud with Braun Breaker, which I don't mind. But it's one of those things where like they're both young up and coming, so I don't want either of them to lose. But whatever, you gotta have one of them lose, I guess. But yeah. So, but this match did what it was supposed to. It served its purpose, and Solo was great. Got himself over. I still don't know whether I should have to if I cheat the bloodline or not, especially after Raw. And Jacob Fatu absolutely destroyed Royce Keys. And I was like, that's definitely a heelish thing, and you dismantled them. So yeah, I think they're supposed to be heel faction with led by a guy who's kind of cool, who the fans refuse to boo. So I think that's the idea.
Yeah, kind of. So, yeah, I asked Jacob Barber on the stream. I was like, "Are the Bloodline heels or faces?" Yes, was the answer. So I don't know. So yeah, we had Gunther defeating SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. Choked him out at 11:40. Again, another good match that overall was good. I feel like it never quite got into that next gear, that next level, because it kind of ended again. A lot of these matches on night one were very short. We had a lot of 11-minute matches, things like that, kind of throughout the whole thing. It's really short stuff, but Nick looked really good, as we kind of predicted he would. I mean, he's a former NWA champion. He's a really good wrestler, and yeah, he got to come out to "Morning Glory" by Oasis.
All the time. I love that song so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't Nigel McGuinness come out to that song when he
retired or something, right?
Or when he had retirement to face Bryan Danielson.
Maybe. So is that just like a British dream song, like something? Yeah, because Nick I did find an article where Nick talked about that, and he said it's just like one of his favorite songs ever, and he always thought it would make a good sort of entrance music. So hey, he got to come out to it on a big pay-per-view, so that's cool at least, and got to have that moment. But yeah, he looked good. He got the crowd kind of behind him. I don't think anybody really thought he had a chance to win, unfortunately, but Gunther eventually choked him out. But he looked good. Everything he did was pretty crisp and clean, and Gunther still got the win. But Nick looked good here. What'd you think?
Yeah, and he got to I got a moment with his wife Mickey James and his son at the end of it too. Yeah, it's almost like Yeah, it was good, but it was almost like Gunther was like preserving himself for something else that'd come later. I don't know. It's weird. Some of them might come later on. He didn't get out of that gear, but no, it was really it was good. It was it was solid. I knew Nick would be sort of over, but I didn't really realize how over he'd get. But he was really over, and reportedly, like he's going to be the general manager from now. But like they do expect that he'll be back in the ring again, just not like on a full time basis, but they're going to use him again in the ring because he's a really good wrestler, and I don't know. I wouldn't before his career's all said and done. I wouldn't mind him holding like a mid card title or something like that, like a Intercontinental. That'd be nice. Because he's really good, and he was like the one thing. He was like the one good thing when like NWA Power started. He was like the biggest, so there because he was like him and ironically LA Knight who were both on WWE now. Like right there, they were both really quite good. It was a really solid. Really solid match here. I think Gunther was a great opponent for him too. Gunther could have a good match anyway. So all most people.
Yeah, he chopped the shit out of Nick in this match. It was brutal. He chopped. Most of his offense was chops, but it was good. Fatal Influence beat the Bella Twins and Page.
It was a match. The story of the match was at the end where the Bellas turned like basically. I think it was like they were pissed that Paige tagged her suffered and then lost, and then so they turned heel on her, and I don't know. I suspect that maybe this is what maybe Paige will get a partner, and maybe Tatum Paxley gets called up because she kind of looks like her a little bit. So maybe you get 10 packs in the Bellas, but that might has to be held out for a while because as we mentioned at the top of the show, Brie got injured doing the cannonball. But other than that, it's just a match. But I am sort of, even though I said I think the Bellas would win, but I am sort of glad that the Fatal Influence won because I think they're all good and they need momentum. I realized I'm immature and I got distracted by a sign that made me laugh harder than I should have because there was a sign that was right in the camera that said "fatal flatulence," and made me laugh. And I'm like, I'm 37 and I'm laughing at it.
Well, I did see a story about a screening of Spider-Man that got cleared out and evacuated because somebody ripped a rancid fart. Quote. A fart so rancid that they had to clear the theater. So that's impressive.
That's impressive, man. Like you might want to check this. You might want to check if there's any follow through there if that's the case. But my God,
if you could rip farts that clear out a place like nerve gas, that's pretty good. I wonder what that guy was eating.
I'd probably find a different theater to go to too, because people probably want to like, I'm going to sit next to that guy. And
no. You're banned from the theater. Why? Because I ripped too many farts in the theater and I couldn't control myself. So fatal flatulence might be a thing somewhere. You never know. CM Punk retained his title and beat Cody Rhodes. Probably match of the night overall if we had to go.
It was a good match.
Good match.
There's a lot, mate. And did at one point did CM Punk hurt Brian Alvarez's feelings at some point? He's on his ass all the time, and I don't understand why. Like it's just like, because there was one point in the match. It was about where CM Punk goes for a moonsault and he lands on Cody's face, but like it was like. And then Brian's like, CM Punk should be called stand for can't moonsault. And I'm like, I get he wasn't in his defense, he wasn't actually going. I don't think he was going for the full rotation moonsault. He as he's been mentioned before, he's a huge fan of Terry Funk. So
the first thing I said when we were watching it, and you weren't there, Richie, I said that was a Terry Funk moonsault. If you ever look at Terry Funk's ones he did in like ECW, they're very much like this kind of half sideways, half backwards, moonsaults. Yeah,
he looks behind him halfway, and then he turns. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's what he was trying to do, and he it's and I think it just happened to land on Cody's face. But yeah, like I know he wasn't. I think Brian Alvarez was like thinking he was aiming for doing the full rotation. Like no, he's a Terry Funk fan. He was going for that, and it just didn't work out. But
I'm fairly confident if CM Punk wanted to do a full real moonsault, he could do one.
he could do one. He took some he took some Nelly Buster's match, with the elbow, going for the elbow drop and missing. But I thought they had it was obviously these guys have good chemistry, and I'm sure we haven't seen the last of them wrestle, but sort of as we all get we actually guessed this because obviously we said that Summerslam is all has returns. We didn't guess the other one that we'll talk about later. But we did say potentially Randy Orton, and Randy Orton came from the crowd, RKO. So that feud between Cody and Randy is going to continue. Decent match, and I think both of them will move on to other things, but they'll probably come back together at some point as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was good stuff. And then your main event of the night was a Hell in a Cell match with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. It went again another 11 minutes. I feel like they didn't do a lot with the actual cage, per se. Probably could have just been like a street fight, and they would.
I think the biggest thing was like them ripping the ring, the floor. It was they could have done just something in a street fight. The padding of the ring,
because we all thought they were going to at least do one spot where they went through the door or ripped the cage, the fence or something, because these two colossal guys, Richie, going through the door or something like that, right? Just something to that degree. But we didn't get any of that. They didn't do much of the actual cage. They used the steps, used a couple of chairs. Brock did the thing where he pulled the mats back and exposed the wood. And then he did he planted Oba on it, but Oba kicked out, powered up right afterwards. He did a tombstone. Tried to pin him like the Undertaker. Then he powered out of that. And then my only thing was then he gets up and just hits one kind of fall from grace on Brock, and then that was it. He just pinned him.
I also think just due to because I was looking at Botchamania came out, and I think where Brock was looking, I think maybe Oba's meant to give him a full grace on the board.
That's what I mean. If it was on the boards, I could be like, oh, okay, well he did it on the wood, so and then he pinned him. Cool, no problem. But he just did one on the mats on the ring, and I was like, okay, that's it. All right, fine, I guess.
Fair enough. But I thought it was I thought it came across it didn't came they've done a decent job of making over this next start a better job than they had with anybody in the last few years, and I thought it was really good. I feel so bad for Zarya and NXT because now because she uses the F5, and I don't buy that as a finisher now at all. I'm just no, I've seen too many people kick out of that at one. But unless she can put that back over, I don't know. It's just because there was as predicted, there was 3 or 4 or 5 fires at the start of that. Over kicked out of not 2. My God, But I always like to prefer Brock's matches with smaller guys, but him and Oba, it was fun. But maybe it's expecting a bit more intensity, but I do like how that it ended and they put Oba as sort of the next big thing. Even teased him becoming a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an okay night one. Punk and Cody was really good. Hell in a Cell was okay, for what it was. But yeah, a lot of short matches. Nothing really kind of getting into that next level. Nick Aldis looked good, but a decent night one. But not anything overly spectacular. It was watchable.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. I one thing I forgot to mention too. And it carries over tonight too. But Michael Cole's not the GOAT. He sucks. He sucked in the show quite badly.
Yeah, he stinks. Yeah. I pointed out the same thing you pointed out in the text message where Nick Aldis at one point just body slammed Gunther, and then he called it a Michinoku driver. I was like, what? What?
And he goes, he didn't get all of it. He wasn't trying to get all of it because it wasn't a Michinoku driver.
It was just a body slam. Yeah.
And then at one point in the same match, I think Wade points out that he had one of his first matches with Nick Aldis and it was in a pub. And then Michael Cole clearly wasn't even listening, and he repeats the exact same thing. Oh, so I heard you had a match with.
And Wade was like, "Yeah, I just said that."
He just said that. Well, like, because he doesn't remember things. He just reads things. There's one point on Raw where he's just like, the camera's on him, and he's talking about how cool Javon Evans is, but he's not like looking to the camera. He's reading his notes. I mean, you can't recall that. You're dumb.
Yeah,
You suck at your job.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Cole. I think his glory years were like with Taz and SmackDown during the Ruthless Aggression era, and that was just because Taz was fun and they had good chemistry. But yeah, I've never been a big fan of Cole. I think he kind of stinks. He's not good. So yeah, he's had his rough spots lately as well. Yeah, night two. Yeah, we opened up with what was supposed to be Finn Balor and Sami Zayn for the number one contender to CM Punk's title. And yeah, but before the match starts, Nick Aldis comes out. He's back to being general manager. He says he's adding a third person. Gunther comes out. So we think it's going to be a three-way. Of course, Sami Zayn is freaking out. He doesn't like this. And then, yeah, before that's about to start, he goes, no, I never said I was done. I'm going to add a fourth person. And yeah, out comes Kevin Owens to a huge pop.
You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no, and it's something that nobody really expected because, we didn't know how severe the neck injury was and the surgery and whatnot. But apparently he's been cleared and he's ready to go because, he came in this match. He was a house of fire. Of course, him and Sami Zayn kind of went at it as they always do. But yeah, he wins the match. And I guess in the meantime, for a little, we're going to get Kevin Owens and CM Punk. So how do you feel about that, Richie? Should be good. And looking it up, apparently they've never faced each other ever anywhere.
That's that's great. I'm looking forward to the promos. I think they're going to be good at promos. It'll be interesting to see where the crowd sides with them, and because they're not going to be face dynamic. But you'd think that. Yeah, I feel like the crowd might be more with Kevin Owens because he's just coming back and it's a cool story. Why not put the title on Kevin Owens? I don't know. I'd champion putting on the, Punk can always get it back. I'd champion putting the title on Kevin Owens to be honest. But then it plays in the storyline too because it's like Sami Zayn screwed over again. He not only got screwed over, he screwed over by his best friend, and you can do that thing again. And I think it'll culminate in actually Sami eventually having an okay, more than a 9-day run with the championship, and probably winning it at a bigger show. But yeah, there is something to this. I'm getting screwed over story. But yeah, it does have a legit right though, and they just add people.
Right. Yeah, and that didn't help for our predictions either because we couldn't predict that they would add.
I predict Kevin Owens.
Yeah. If I had known that, I would have predicted Kevin Owens, of course. So it should be fun, and it's confirmed they've never faced each other anywhere at any point in their careers, which is interesting because they've been cross paths in different places across the years, but they've never had a match. So interesting that it'll at least be a fresh match and a fresh feud, so that should be fun. The promos should be great because both those guys will lose on each other and it'll be a good time. So I'm looking forward to that.
On the post show, he gave a shout out to Rebel from Edo, and he just said he said, I know she works for another company, but this is bigger than wrestling. It's like she's like basically like her story gave sort of inspired him to sort of keep going too, because he wasn't sure if he was going to wrestle again or whatever, and he only got cleared a couple of weeks prior to you know to SummerSlam. It was touch and go there for a bit, so yeah, it was cool that he just like mentioned her. It's like fuck it, this is bigger than. It's not like I would mention the other company. No, this is bigger than that. So, but fuck it. So that's cool.
And then we had Trick Williams defending his IC title against Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin is your new Intercontinental Champion. Cool.
Yeah. It's I don't think the crowd. I don't think the crowd really. It's just like didn't know if the crowd weren't really into like Baron Corbin. I assume most of them knew who it was, but yeah, the crowd was just kind of there for Baron Corbin. There was it was sort of just a match. Maybe they've got. I have to think maybe they got bigger plans for Trick Williams. I could see him being like a a decent like favorite to win it. Maybe hold Money in the Bank. That could be a thing for him. And I know there was a point in this match where maybe like with little Yachty was gonna go up and hit Baron Corbin with a cane, and I knew this because Baron Corbin loudly went loudly and said Yachty, Yachty.
And he's trying to remind him of his spot. Yeah. Which always is funny when you have a manager who like has one job in one point of the match and forgets, what they're supposed
to do it. And so yeah, Baron Corbin's just like leaning against the rope for like no, and he just staring for no reason. He's like, then he finally,
yeah.
But yeah, it's just a match. But yeah, I assume that they've probably got bigger things for Trick. He's very over.
Yeah. And then with that, Brian Alvarez also pointed out that all the male champions of WWE are over the age of 40. So way to make new stars.
Yeah. That's not great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good statistic. Which AEW actually isn't that better. About the same thing. They have tag team champions and trios champions and other people in between that are kind of up there. But at least they have some fresher stars. They can put over to a degree. But yeah, so not good. WWE need to make some new stars. So keep going with that. Chelsea Green emerged victorious in the interim women's championship ladder match to a pretty huge pop from the crowd. They seem to enjoy that very much. And what I thought was a ladder match, there wasn't a lot going on in this one. It was a lot of just like setting up to do a spot, and only like really one or two of the spots were like really good. I thought the one spot where Lash powerbomb Tiffany or somebody across the ladder bridge was pretty good. That looked pretty nasty. And then what was it, Tiffany when she got tipped over the ladder, jumped and did like a helo over the top. Everybody else that was pretty good. But yeah, overall not a super memorable match, but a good finish. With Chelsea.
Yeah. Tiffany did the Shelton Benjamin spot where she got tipped over and then she took advantage. Turned it into a positive and flipped. But yeah, I feel like this match needed. I feel like even though I was a little bit black going in because it was always the same people, I feel like when you think about it, this match kind of needed someone like Tiffany who could do the aerial stuff because like she was sort of like the MVP of the match, doing all this cool shit, and whereas like and cool having like Lash doing that stuff, but yeah, it was. Like other than that, it will just have like, oh, someone's going to climb the ladder, push off. But I did like it. It was a fun image of like Charles Green just being like stuck upside down and then realizing, oh shit, I'm anyway. I'll and then then hoisting herself up and getting up there and then becoming interim. It'd be interesting to see it. Because it was like Rhea announced that she's electing to go to surgery. She sort of couldn't put it off anymore. So why don't they just? It'd be cool if they just made it. It'd be cool if they just like I don't know how long they just make her interim. They should just be champion. But yeah.
We'll eventually she'll it might depend on if Ripley can come back, for WrestleMania or something. But we'll see what Chelsea does with it in the meantime. And then we had a We had a weird match. This was Danhausen and Dominic with $100,000 of human monies on a pole,
But
which is a weird thing
it
to say.
wasn't, but it wasn't like real money. Like, so why would?
Yeah, that was the weird that we'll get to that, but yeah, this match in general was odd because it was like it was just seemed to be building up to there wasn't it was just them kind of wrestling for a minute, and then obviously everybody else got involved, so JD gets involved and he beat the shit out of one of those guys. One of the mini houses once they ran in, he was slamming dudes all. One of them apparently was Brad Williams, the comedian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you not see that? There was articles about that. That Brad Williams, the comedian, the midget comedian, was one of the was one of the mini houses.
It wouldn't surprise me. He's a wrestling fan, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that might have been cool for him to do a spotlight. I don't know if he was one of the ones that JD slammed the shit out of, but maybe. But yes, and then of course the one that's a real worker, the one that's
Burrito.
El Torito, yeah, was awesome as he always is. He doing these kind of lucha spots. There was a cool spot where he did the somersault through the ropes and then went face first into the barricade. That was kind of gnarly.
Oh yeah, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, oh god. But yeah, then yeah, so it's just a lot of interference and the silly stuff where Dominic got the fireworks shot up in his face, by the pole, and then
Yeah, when he said you were cursed, and
yeah. And again, I was surprised, like you, that Dominic has a thing with Omos now in AAA. I was surprised that Omos didn't show up in this one, and because he could easily help him, get the money down. He's a very tall guy, but yeah, and there's no DQ, so why not? But yeah, he didn't have him there. Danhausen wins, and yeah, like you said, it wasn't even a real $100,000. It was like Danhausen money, which was
it was
stupid.
Danhausen money. So why would Dominic want that? And yeah,
Yeah.
And then he was handing out money. They showed on camera him handing out money, and one of the people he handed out money to was Nick Khan. I'm like, he doesn't need the money.
He
doesn't
does
need
not, out of anybody here, he does not need the money. Yes. Yeah. So it was not great. I mean, I like Danhausen a lot, mostly as just a backstage, kind of vignette guy. But yeah, this spot could have been given to somebody else on the card, honestly.
This could have been the tag match, which they were obviously getting with Alpha Academy and the Vision. But I guess yeah. But we had to have this. It was. I know some kids like like it. Kids like Danhausen. He's but yeah, I don't know. It was weird, and I don't know. Like Dominic's a AAA champion. I feel like he should be taken a bit more seriously. But anyway. Yeah, and looks like he's going to be in the Intercontinental title picture now as well. Interesting enough, Danhausen wasn't on Raw. Maybe they're kind of scaling him down a bit.
Maybe, or maybe they just had other stuff they had to get to, and they'll get back to him in a week. I don't know. We'll see. He bounces between the two shows, so he could show up on SmackDown.
He could show up on SmackDown except with Miz or something.
Yeah, I guess they just dropped that whole thing with Danhausen and Miz and Kit Wilson.
Yeah, maybe. I guess so. I don't know. But they were even doing that story on they were on Hot Ones and doing that shit. So
yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we had our semi-main event. Chad Gable beat Penta to become the Intercontinental Champion. It was a little shorter than I wanted to be. Another 11-minute match. I don't know what their obsession was with 11-minute matches across these two shows. But yeah, I feel like they should have gotten at least 15. Maybe kind of space it out a little bit. But it was a hell of an 11 minutes. Probably one of the better 11-minute matches you'll ever see. It was really good. Both guys, were very crisp and clean. Did some really cool stuff. Chad's a great seller, and everything he does. But yeah, he got a chance in Minnesota to win the title. It was a great celebration, and he had a good speech and everything. And then they had to ruin it with a commercial within the ring. He's like, I like to thank my family. He's hugging his kids, he's got his mom and dad there. He's doing his thing. Yay, okay, holding the title. Woo! Big moment. And then a goofy mascot gets up on the apron, and we're like, what the fuck? Is it somebody about to attack him? That's what I thought. I was like, is somebody
I thought someone was I thought someone maybe was debuting for the main roster, someone returning.
Yeah, I was like, okay, who's about to attack him? And then he hands him a mug root beer, and then he slams the root beers like a Stone Cold thing and chugs the root beer, and then they slap on a thing on the top that's the biggest dog in the fight or something, mug roopie or whatever it said. And I'm just like, oh God, you just ruined it. No, no.
This is some idiocracy stuff. It's bullshit.
Yeah, like why'd you have to do that? Like I just did you need that bug root beer sponsorship that bad? They also, we should mention, did that cringy shit they do in the audience, which I hate, where like during the, like, right before Gunther's match, they had like the general auto insurance, and they had like the general mascot in the crowd, and they have to have like the cringy thing where the audience members are got their arm around them and they're cheering really louder than they should be, going, yeah, general, woo, yeah, general. I'm like, oh God, this is so cringe. I hate that. It's so bad.
Yeah, they even had they had the Super Troopers guys in the crowd.
Dressed as their characters. Oh my God. Just like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't even know if they're wrestling fans or not. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of them like ever guest hosting Raw back in the day or anything like that.
No, I just think it was like, hey, this movie's coming out. We've been asked. Hey, it's a good time to sponsor it. Hey, we can get some recognizable people on camera. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's not good. But what did you think of the actual match? Because the match was good. That's really good.
Yeah, the match was really good. It was fun. There's this point in the match where, because he does do this before he does the Mix and Destroy, where he goes like that. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny? I said to my friend I was watching it with, I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if Jey Uso's music started playing? Because
he went like this.
Yeah.
Oh, like, not that. No,
really solid match. I do wish Chad Gable would get new music. That new music sucks. His whatever music he's got now is, and I don't like I'm not a fan of that. No. That's not a guy I could, but it's cool that he got his moment, and hopefully he has a decent run with it, because he's very deserving of it. He's been the top worker for a long time. So yeah, I'm glad he got his moment. One thing I should mention, I knew when you guys would have ads, but we wouldn't get the ads. What we would get is always get these it would just cut to Summerslam snapshots from
I saw those because we were watching via Netflix with certain methods.
So you would have seen those, and you would have heard the Machine Gun Kelly Fred Durst song 90,000 times.
Well, we didn't hear it too much because as soon as they started playing it, I muted the stream so we wouldn't hear it. So yes, we were doing JPO trivia in between that. So
they played that song so much. I liked it when it first came out, but because it's so that is good. But my God, I was singing hearing that song after the show.
Yeah. So we were watching on Netflix. So thanks New Zealand for my Netflix stream. Appreciate that. All right, because we were watching via I think I had it on the Bahamas or something like that, and then halfway through the thing, it cut off and it goes, and then I got the message saying Netflix detects you're using a VPN, and I was like, so and then so I just I tried 2 other different countries, and then I got to New Zealand and it worked. So there you go. So maybe they cut off just certain countries, or after a while, I don't know. But hey, I was just doing what Stephanie Man told me to do, is to watch it via VPN. Remember, she did the VPN ad. So you could watch it. You could access other things via VPN. I'm just doing what she told me to. Yeah,
using a VPN is not I feel like using a VPN is not really illegal necessarily, because people, most creators promote it. They got
I'm paying for the VPN and I pay for Netflix. So what am I really doing wrong? I'm paying for both the services I'm using within that method. So it's not like I'm watching an illegal stream. I'm watching a legal Netflix stream just through another legal service. So. Hey, listen, it's WWE's fault for having all their programming across 5 streaming services. That's your fault.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you. Yeah.
When you have to watch PLEs on ESPN and Netflix on Raw, and then
And
and then you can't watch SmackDown anywhere except for Netflix International, or you have to have cable. So you have to have cable to watch that, and then you have to have the CW app to watch NXT, and then you have to have Peacock to
to
watch
do
Saturday
like
Night's
evolve you gotta watch.
Peacock for Saturday Night's Main Event. Still, yeah, like that's your fault, WWE, for spreading all your shit across and not having it in one place. So screw it. All right, that's your fault. Anyways, get to our main event. Roman Reigns retained the title against Seth Rollins. Probably the best match they've ever had, honestly, if I had to say. And I was skeptical going in because, I don't put a whole lot of stock in like cage match ratings. But when it comes to like past matches, I looked at it at their feud, and all their one-on-one matches have always been like 7 out of 10 on cage match, like at max. And I feel like they probably had their best match they've ever had. This was good. There was a lot of Shield nods throughout the match. What was it, Roman or Seth? One of them did a Death Rider in the middle of this thing as well.
Oh yeah, I think that they were, and they even mentioned that they name dropped Dean Ambrose. They said Dean Ambrose on commentary. So yeah, no, it was really good. There was a slight dig at John Moxley on commentary afterwards. I'm like, you don't have to be. I know you probably got told to say that, but you can say no. You won't lose your job.
I say it's fine that they mentioned Dean Ambrose because it's kind of hard not to when you're talking about the Shield. I get it, and you could just say, you don't have to even say where he is. You can just be like, he's not here anymore. It's fine. But they did a lot of that. Yeah, they did the Shield like powerbomb spots. They both did the powerbomb through the table gimmick. Which, oh my god, as a referee, I have to mention this, and you probably noticed the same thing, Richie. So they go outside and brawl around the stadium for like 10 minutes, right? They do the walk and brawl thing that Roman likes to do. And they're walking and they're brawling and they're walking and they're brawling. And they come back and they like get in the ring and they go out of the ring and they each do the powerbomb spot to the outside. Referee just stands there and watches all of this. And then after the second powerbomb, then decides to start counting them out. Like, get the fuck out of here, you idiot. Like this is why like nobody takes referees seriously in WWE anymore. It's because like you didn't count for the 10 minutes they were outside of the ring brawling around the stadium, brawling around the concession stand. Like, what are we doing here? You didn't count the first time somebody went through the announce table. Like, what do we now? You decide to count? Like, fuck off. As a referee, that bugs me, man. When you just conveniently decide when you want to count,
Like at least I don't know. That. Just make it a street fight if you're going to do like the board that.
Or just make it a ROH. You should do a thing called relaxed rules. Just call it relaxed rules. Like referee can relax the enforcement of certain rules. Like that's fine. Or realistically, they should have just said before the thing. You could have had Adam Pearce come out and be like, "All right, you guys are at each other's throats. This match is now a no DQ match or whatever." You know what I mean? That's fine. And then you wouldn't have to worry about the counts and stuff. At all. Right?
Yeah.
So, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I can see why that. Yeah. It doesn't annoy me as much as Rick Knox and not being taxed. But that's still a bit more. But not enforcing tag team rules in Young Bucks matches especially. But I can see that is frustrating. Apparently, there was a major botch on they did it obviously they printed like a lot of the images on like the the SummerSlam branded chairs, and it said Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, and it said street fight. They never had a street fight.
No,
but it was all over the advertising on the steel chairs that they. I'm like, someone's getting fired. But I thought this match was really good. There was the one where Roman got to the table. I felt bad for him because he went to the table and then the wheeling chair like sprung up, and I think the wheels of the chair hit him in the dick. He immediately went. But it was it was really good. I know Brian Alvarez was whinging about it's like the pace of the match slow. I didn't think so. I thought it was.
I thought the pacing was fine. I mean, other than the walk and brawl, portion of the match. I thought everything else once they got back to the ring was pretty crisp, and everything they hit was good. They didn't spam the finishers too much. I thought, like they did
Yeah.
a few here and there. Rollins did like one stomp and then another one, but like it wasn't like him going for a pin after each one. He hit like the two, and then he like went for the super stomp and missed, that sort of thing. And then I think Roman at one point had like one spear, but he kicked out. But then he like the next time once he hit like the super spear, he didn't kick out, like that sort of thing. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and then and that's what. And again, I got confused as to who Roman was as a character when he was, giving Seth props and stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, but but then you do evil stuff on Raw, and then I'm like, but then you're a nice guy here. But I guess it's like, oh, but you're I guess you're close and you earn disrespect. I guess that's the idea. I don't know, but yeah, you see that there was a tweet of from Kurt Angle going, I think that they said, there was a tweet that said, we were just missing one more, and I had the tweet, and then Kurt Angle photoshopped his face in the Shield gear. It's like, oh, thanks, guys.
The honorary Shield member, yes, Kurt Angle. So they did. Again, a lot of the Shield nods. They kind of did the little like fist bump thing kind of at the end. So kind of putting it to bed maybe for good. No more kind of Shield callbacks, because they even tried to do the thing where Seth was like leaning over the ropes and Roman was going to hit him with a chair, but he didn't. That sort of thing. So
and even in the entrance where Seth he came out and was like Durner, and then and like, wait, shoot, but then it went and it morphed into his entrance. Okay.
Yeah. So he retained and probably one of their better matches they've ever had. So your kind of overall thoughts on SummerSlam, Richie, and what you give it out of 10? What do you think?
Yeah, I liked it. It was one of the better. We've had some like pretty average WWE shows in the last couple of months, so it was one of the better ones. So it was, SummerSlam sort of needed to be that, and it was good. No, it was still like maybe not like a huge SummerSlam standard where you're thinking like this is supposed to be like probably the second biggest show apart from like WrestleMania if you don't count like Rumble, I guess. But like as far as like up and down, just a wrestling card, probably supposed to be like like a WrestleMania-ish card. Didn't really feel like that, but there was enough here to enjoy. Probably that Danhausen thing felt like it could have been a fun Raw segment, whatever, and that would have been fun. And then you could have had a tag. You could have had a tag title match on here, but that's wishful thinking. But I thought there was enough here that I was like, okay, it's not a bad show, but it's not going to go down in the history of like SummerSlams or whatever. It's just going to be a show. I'd probably give it like a 6.
Yeah, I'd go in like that kind of 6 or 6.5 range, something like that, because it was totally watchable while you're watching it. I didn't feel like it dragged too much. It still was like paced pretty well. There was some good matches. Yeah, Roman and Seth was good. Punk and Cody was good. Chad and Penta. There was some good stuff here and there. There was also some forgettable matches. Yeah, a lot of the 2 6-man tags were very forgettable. The Baron Corbin trick wasn't anything special. Neither was Danhausen. So those forgettable stuff on both nights that you could skip around. If you were watching it, I'd say go watch basically the last 2 matches on each of the shows, and I think you'd be good. They were all worth watching, and everything else is all right. But they haven't had like a really solid PLE in a while. I feel like some of their other stuff has been very mid, in the middle between here and WrestleMania. So WrestleMania Night 2, as I think it was the last one, I thought was really, really good. I don't think any of these shows are going to be in contention for show of the year to compete with AEW or even AAA, because AAA, that Mask versus Mask show was really good.
It was really good, and I'm sure they're going to get. I'm sure Triple Mania.
It's funny. We were talking about that. Triple Mania, I'm looking forward to more than any other PLEs for WWE coming up for sure. Because Triple Mania, the way AAA's been booked and just the way they've delivered, match wise as well, I think I'm looking forward to that more than anything. It says a lot that night 1 had to get moved to a bigger venue. That's pretty cool for the demand.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. and yeah, so I think that's yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, and yeah, hopefully, think, yeah, I'm looking forward to that show. And there's not really any like proper huge PLE until Money in the Bank, which is in October. So you've got your Sunday night's main events and they're even doing the Sunday night's main event, which I think is just a petty thing because they're going to go head to head with one of the AEW shows. um, but yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, we don't have like the big WWE thing like actual PLE until Money in the Bank. So it's interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that AAA show.
Yeah, that's coming up sooner rather than later, though. The first night is Friday, September 11th in Las Vegas, and then yeah, they're doing that thing where they're taking a day in between and then coming back on the Sunday from actual Mexico. So,
Yeah,
well, everybody gets a chance to travel, and I guess you probably should do that if you're switching countries, just in case.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
probably a good idea,
I,
So
I do appreciate letting the wrestlers rest now because remember, like that it was often it was very and for the longest time when Vince was around, it was like pay per view Sunday, Raw Monday. Like my God, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. At least they have that time between, like that day in between. You're like, yeah, I need at least a day to like kind of travel and like chill out.
Well, at least though lately, sometimes when they do the big PLE on the Saturday or Sunday, they stay in the same city. They just run like the arena instead of the
Yeah,
stadium in the same
yeah,
city.
yeah. Well, that's good
So
too.
yeah, so
Yeah.
at least they don't really have to travel or even change hotels. They can just go to the smaller venue, a few days
Yeah.
later. So that's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but yeah, but sometimes you're made to like, oh, so Sunday I'm in here, and Monday we're gonna go 4 hours to this thing. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, or go from like, okay, Saturday in Saudi Arabia to back Monday in like, wherever, California or something, you know what I mean? Like some super long flights,
Like,
back to the
man,
States.
like, nah, screw. Yeah, nah, yeah, I don't envy them for those times, but yeah, but yeah, all in all, okay show, but yeah, yeah, I think they've got work to do if they want to like kind of get on like the potential best show of the year um, list by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so yeah, coming up next week, yeah, we'll switch gears kind of more to AEW. I need to watch that Mexico show. I forgot that was yesterday, so I may watch that tomorrow while we're kind of hanging around here. And then yeah, we'll kind of switch over and we're going to draft our rosters. Hopefully next week, and see what we draft, and we'll get those locked in before we kind of build up to the end of this month, which will be all in at Wembley again. So, which is shaping up to be a pretty good show, as it usually is. So, we'll gear up for that, and yeah, we'll get back into it. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up there for now. I'm gonna jump off and get to bed after this, but yeah, anything you want to throw out a plug real quick?
no, you can catch me on yeah, yeah, Wheel of Movies. We just talked about the Blob. Check that out. Yeah, you can catch it on JP's channel. Hopefully, talking Worst of '95 coming up soon, and then doing a draft on best numbered movies, which not including sequels. Still have to work out my list for that. And yeah, so that's about it in the sort of and then we'll probably do another draft, but just like we did with the directors, but just with actors. So that would be fun as well. And yeah, so check that out. And yeah,
Yeah, totally. And you can mostly just find me over on the Movie Hero Network, Movie Hero Network Facebook group if you want to find kind of everything mashed all into one site. It's a good place to go. Yeah, we'll be doing Jonathan Caro's after the 128 tournament tomorrow
oh, yeah, I'm
night.
on there tomorrow. Yeah, I'm on there tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll be on there with us. Rondo will be on there. So, yeah, it'll be a nice little small panel, and we'll breeze through it, and it'll be fun. And then, yeah, we'll start up the Sports and Games Mystery Tournament over the next couple of weeks. So that's what we got going on. And, yeah, like Richie said, go back and check out Wheel of Movies this week on the blog. We had a good time talking about that. So, yeah, so that'll end it for tonight. And hopefully we'll all be back together. And, yeah, we'll put together our AEW fantasy roster, so we'll see where that goes. So should be fun. Always fun to guess who will be on TV from week to week with AEW.
Yeah.
So always fun. At least with WWE, kind of know who the primary players are, but yes, with the AEW, you never know who's just gonna pop back up or debut, or hey, will somebody draft the New Day before they even show up? You could.
You could. You potentially could.
Potentially.
You could. Yeah, but you'd look silly if they're like, if you draft them and they're like, "We signed with Impact." Oh shit.
Oh damn! Or if they don't wrestle as a tag team at all, they just wrestle a bunch of singles matches. that would be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, will we find out next week? So yeah, we'll wrap it up there for now. So for Richie Goodacre, I've been Austin Fezell, and we'll see you guys next week on the Rolling Marks. Bye.